Hello gang, how you doing? Welcome to yet another beautiful episode with your regular host. I am Naman Blackie of Blackady's Korea, and I'm here to educate you and not confuse you on how you can best shop from China. Okay, on today's episode, we're talking the basic and the major differences between Taobao 1688 and Alibaba.com. I'm sure some of you must have heard about these applications, you must have experienced them, you must have tried to use them, but you've never really understood the differences between these apps. Well, that's why I'm here. I'm here to educate you and enlighten you about this app. So come with me as we take on this ride. Yeah. Okay, welcome back, guys. Now, permit me to explain or rather enlighten you on how best to use these applications. Okay, now Taobao is owned by Alibaba. 1688 is owned by Alibaba. And as you rightly guessed, Alibaba.com is owned by Alibaba. Now, these three apps are all owned by the same company, but they all serve different purposes and they are all made to meet different needs. Now, let me explain further. Taobao is an app for single items. Okay, that is where you go and you buy single items. If you want just one item like this, as tiny as this, to be delivered to you, you go on Taobao, you buy it, and you're going to get it delivered. You go on 1688, there's an MOQ of 2 items and above. It means you have to buy 2 of 1 item and above. All right, which means I want to buy this purse on 1688. I have to buy 2 of it before the shipper will sell. I cannot pay for 1 because the app will not even let me pay for 1. You have to select 2 and above. You can choose different colors, different sizes, but you have to buy 2 at once. Alibaba, on the other part, is mainly for OEM, ODMs, and MOQ. This part, as I said in my previous video, I'm going to do a separate class or a separate video about this just to teach you what MOQ, OEMs, and ODMs are. Okay, now it just deals with that part of orders. Okay, you don't just walk into Alibaba and just pay for an item and get it delivered. There's a process to it. There's a communication, there's a back and forth that needs to happen between you and the factory, or you and the middleman that is in between, that's in between you and the factory. Okay, so one thing you need to also know is on Alibaba, they are all factories and all manufacturing plants. There's no retail shop in Alibaba.com. No, they're all factories, proper companies, legit companies that have been existing for years. That's where you go to find them. Okay, so if you're looking for something to manufacture in bulk, or you're looking for a big machine, you go to Alibaba.com. All right. If you want to be a retailer or a reseller, like some of you that are in Lagos Island, you guys buy 10 of one design, or 20 of one design, or 50 of one design, then you go on 1688 and you get a fair price and all that. If you want your daily living items, for instance, you're cooking and then you realize there's no water, you can go on Taobao, you buy water, and it's going to get delivered to you. You're sitting down, you're scrolling, and then you probably just see, oh, this mouse is beautiful, and then you go on Taobao and you buy the mouse and it gets delivered to you. Single item. Taobao, on the other part, items on Taobao are readily available. Okay, they are always available. Majority of the times, anything you buy on Taobao is always available and to be delivered. It might not be available in the color you want, hence the seller might say, okay, let's give you a different color. But most of the time, whatever you see on Taobao is always available compared to 1688. When you go on 1688, you might see it's showing available. By the time you pay, the seller will come to your DM and say, oh, sorry, this item is no longer available. And it's like that because most of these guys have middlemen who they work with, so they don't get to upload or update that this item is out of stock. They don't get to do it on time. So when you go and you pay for it, they now go to the store and say, okay, store, somebody has bought 10 of this car, right? And then store will tell them, oh no, we've sold 5 of this, we only have 5 left. Now they'll have to come back and tell you, sorry, there's only 5 of this left. Sure, you go buy like that, I you no go buy. If you no go buy, they will refund you your money. If you go buy, they will send to you. Or if you go change color, then they'll augment. That's how 1688 operates, because they are a retail store. So sometimes they also do offline sales. They don't just focus on online sales. So what might be available online might not necessarily be available offline. So sometimes they also tell you, okay, hold on, we'll have to manufacture this because it's no longer available, but give us 14 days or give us 15 days and then we'll get it ready for you. That's another option that 1688 gives you. Alibaba, on the other hand, everything there requires manufacturing. Everything there requires manufacturing. If anybody should tell you that they have it in stock, they're just boboing you. Let me never lie to you. They're just boboing you. They will tell you, yes, we have it in stock. They like, by the time you make your payment, they'll come back and tell you, please give us time, let's manufacture. They'll be looking for excuse to give you because they're buying time to manufacture. They are a manufacturing company, okay? Everything you want there has to be manufactured. Forget it. Even the machines you are buying, majority of the time, they have to couple them together. They are not always readily available. Another difference is Taobao has higher prices. So, for instance, I see this car is selling for 10 RMB or 10 yuan on Taobao, and it's a single item. By the time I go on 1688 and I find this same car might be selling for, let's say, 7 RMB, but I have to buy 2, which means I'm paying 14 RMB as opposed to paying 10 RMB. So sometimes the prices of this are higher on Taobao because you're buying one item compared to if you're buying 2 at 14. If you're buying 2 on Taobao, it means you're paying 20. But if you're buying 14, if you're buying 2 on 1688, you're paying 14, which means you've saved 6 RMB. Understand? Get it? No? Okay. I'll teach you maths later. Now on Alibaba, on the other part, they get to have the chance for you to. They have the lowest prices most times, right? But they give you the chance to negotiate. Okay, they allow you to negotiate. They allow you to say, okay, I want to pay X amount for this item, and then the seller will tell you, no, the best we can give you is 10 RMB, and you can say, no, give me 9.5. Okay, fine, deal, 9.5, deal, bam. But on Taobao, you can't do that. On 1688, you cannot do that. Whatever the price is there is what you're paying for, straight up. No going back and forth. Taobao, on the other part, they are mostly resellers. Okay, majority of people on Taobao are mostly third parties, mostly resellers, and sometimes factories directly. But majority of the time, they are mostly resellers and affiliate marketers. Majority of the time, majority. 1688 on the other part, they are mostly factories, but with trading companies. So this is how they work. The factory will hire a trading company, or the factory will hire a reseller that will mediate between the factory and you, the buyer. So when you go to buy, the notification goes to the middleman, and then the middleman notifies the factory that, okay, somebody has placed order, oh yeah, send, and then they send, and then it now feels like it's the factory. But majority of the people you're dealing with on 1688 are middlemen, majority of the time, especially when you message them privately. Majority of them are middlemen. And then Alibaba, on the other part, you're speaking to them, you're speaking directly to factory. The amount of middlemen that are there are very little. They are lower than the factories. Most times you're speaking to the factory reps who work for the factory, not work as contractor. No, they work with the factory. They're mostly in the factory most of the time, which is why they have more. They get to give you more information, or a more detailed information when you communicate with them. Another difference is Taobao has a variety of goods. Now, adjust your chair. Let me tell you this. You see Taobao? Taobao is the only app in this world that I've ever seen that they sell everything. See, I write in capital letter. Everything is on Taobao. Everything. You want to buy a car, you want to buy a house, you want to buy land, you want to book for flight, you want to book for hotel, you want to buy food. You define, as a guy, you define, you dey Taobao. See this one, I kid you not. Everything in that app, everything. If you think I'm joking, think of something that you feel is weird, that is not possible, right? Think of it, write it in the comment section, and I promise you I'll find the link and I'll share it with you and you see it. Those guys, they have everything on that app. I'm not even joking right now. Say you did 2 a.m. you feel say you know fits, go on the app, fine, e go deliver come your door, cha cha. I'm not even joking. But you see, 1688, now let's get serious. 1688 on the other part, it has a limitation. Not everything is there, but a good number of what you need is on 1688. A very good number of what you need is on 1688. But their varieties are not as much as that of Taobao. Alibaba on the other part is only high end, like OEMs, ODMs, only products that gang, okay, would they buy 10,000 pieces of plastic? Now there you go find out. You're buying 50,000 pieces. Now there you go find out. Another good difference is Taobao always has lots of discounts. Any festive that's happening in China, there's a discount on Taobao going on. You buy an item today, the seller can decide to dash you 5 RMB discount, so that when next you come to buy an item in the shop again, that 5 RMB will apply, and then you see that you have small discount. You get it? That is Taobao. Plenty discount. There's a big give discount. No joke. 1688, well, they have a decent number, but they always adhere to every festive that happens. Once there's a festive happening in China, there's always that promo that pops up on 1688. So if you're a frequent buyer on 1688, always time your purchase to when there's holiday in China. When the holiday is coming or during the holiday, you can quickly buy during this period because there's plenty, Alibaba, as I said earlier, bargaining is allowed. You can bargain with your seller, you can talk about prices to the barest minimum. And let me warn you, most of the times as a foreigner, most of the times, guys, those sellers, they inflate the prices most of the times. So if an item is supposed to be $10, because you're approaching them for the first time and asking them how much is this, some of them will tell you $20, some of them will tell you $15, some of them will tell you $18, because they kind of have this impression that you're just coming to ask for price. You might not necessarily want to buy, but when they see that you are serious and you want to buy, guy, bargain, proper bargain, like do like Agbero, bargain proper. When they see that you are bargaining proper and they know that there's potential that you're going to lock the deal, they'll give you a good deal. It go shock you when you go see the price go not day and now they'll drop, whoop, come here. Now so them be, they get sense. So you too, so then say your number 6 they work. Last but definitely not the least, Taobao is a straight up Chinese app. You don't understand Chinese, you will lose. You don't understand Chinese, your item will disappear. You don't understand Chinese, you cannot communicate with the sellers because most of them speak Chinese. That app was designed for Chinese in China. If you're not inside China, Taobao is almost useless to you. Almost useless to you. It got used, but it's almost useless to you. 1688 has a majority of Chinese, but they still have some bit of English in it. You can still search for some items and see them in English, compared to Taobao that you search for an item, nothing will show up. Let me tell you, just waste your time. I'll explain that. Alibaba on the other part is complete English because it's designed for people who live outside China. It's not designed for the Chinese buyer. It's designed for the Chinese to sell to the world, not for Chinese to buy from there. No, you as a Chinese, all you have to do is go there, find the app, find the address of the factory and go to the factory by yourself and go and buy there. That's for Chinese. Chinese people don't go on Alibaba to buy. Nope, they don't. You, the foreigner, you have to go on Alibaba and buy. So, and that app was designed for you. Another app is AliExpress. That one separate gist entirely. That one has a separate, that one the area is completely far. I don't want to mix it up so that we don't get confused. I'll do that in a separate video by itself. But then Alibaba is complete English, as I said. There's little or no Chinese in it. Very little or no Chinese in it. These are the basic or the major differences between these three apps: Taobao, 1688, and Alibaba.com. You need to know the target and the type of goods you want to buy before you go on these apps. Okay, understand the type of goods you want, understand know the type of goods you want, and know your target audience or the people who would end up buying from you. All right, now in translation, let me explain. You see, if you want to use Taobao and enjoy it, don't go and search for empty bottle container. Don't type empty bottle. Go on your translation app, Google Translate, or whatever app you use to translate. Write empty container in your language and translate it to Chinese. Copy the Chinese and paste it in the space. That is when you see empty bottles that will come up. But you go and type empty bottles on Taobao, the things that you will find, now you go cry. Fact. The app no translation, except you want to do screenshot like my wife and be going to your Google Translate and be translating. So last reminder is subscribe to this YouTube channel, turn on the bell notification, and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that there's someone out here educating you on how to shop from China. I remain Naman Blackie, and see you on another episode. Peace.